Hey everyone, RogueGold here. Welcome back to the Division 2. It's nearly the end of June, July is upon us, and as I usually say, that's pretty hard to believe. Time flies fast these days. But as we get a bit further into the summer here, I wanted to loop back around to one of the more mysterious and intriguing elements that we learned about this current season in-game, back when it was first revealed earlier in June. Because while at first I didn't quite know what to make of this, I think I may have come up with a pretty solid guess. What I'm talking about is the summer event that the game is set to receive this August. And so, in this video, I want to recap what we know about it, where we heard it from, and then dive into my own thoughts about what this could end up being. We'll get right to it, but if you enjoy the video and you want to stay up to date on everything with the Division 2, including when we get more official details on this upcoming event, then be sure to click that subscribe button and you will never miss another beat. But without further ado, let's go. Okay, so let's start off with what we know, which is not much, but it's a good enough baseline for now. In the patch notes that we got for Year 6 Season 1, which is the current update and season that's live in-game, it included quite the interesting teaser in its closing remarks. I'll put it up on screen, this is what was shared. It says, and last but not least, to help agents stay fresh under the scorching sun in Washington, D.C., we will be hosting a special summer event this August. More information to come. So, that's great to hear that we've got some kind of event coming this August, but when first revealed, it left myself and pretty much anyone else I talked to scratching their heads. Now, before we get to my own personal theory and speculation about what this will really be, I wanted to first list off two popular guesses I've seen from the community. And just to be clear, I have no way of knowing what the truth is here. It's completely possible that one of these two theories actually ends up being the case, but I do have a counterpoint for each one that I'll bring up as we go through them. So, the first popular guess I've seen is some people saying that this hints at the devs running a second rerun apparel event sometime this August. And certainly there is a precedent for this. They first started this back with Year 5 Season 2 in early January. We woke up one morning and upon logging on into the game after the latest maintenance, found that the old Phoenix Down apparel event from Season 2 back in 2020 had returned. So that was a surprise. People had been requesting apparel event reruns for a while, and they had delivered. Then when we got to Year 5 Season 3, it was no longer a surprise element. The devs put it right in the seasonal calendar, I'll show it on screen, that the last resort event would be running in the back half of the season. And so that's my main counterpoint to this idea that this August event is just another apparel rerun. It's certainly possible that it could be, or that it involves apparel, as we'll get to, but I don't see a good reason as for why they would go back to secrecy with it, right? If you know you're going to do it, why not just advertise it in the seasonal calendar to begin with? Saying, hey, X apparel event from 3 to 4 years ago will be running in the back half of Season 1. Again, it's not impossible that they're doing this, but I'm skeptical. The clear contender, based off of the phrasing of the quote they gave in the patch notes, saying stay fresh under the scorching sun, would be Heatwave. That was one of the very first apparel events from all the way back in summer of 2019. That thing is kind of a community meme the way I see it. Some people legitimately enjoyed its items and do genuinely want it to return, but from those bright rain jackets it had and other less serious apparel, we'll say, some use it as the prime example for Division 2 apparel that they don't care for. But again, I have a thought on how they might be including this in a different form, so we'll circle back to that very shortly. The other popular community theory that I've seen surrounding all of this is that what they're referring to is actually some kind of real-life news, stream, or presentation for the Division 2 in August. Primarily because of how they phrase it by saying we will be hosting, implying some kind of live developer presentation. And again, I can't disprove this, that could totally be what we end up seeing. They did even mention in the Seasons 2.0 FAQ released recently that they're planning for multiple live streams and demonstrations to show off these new systems and take community questions. But I have a few reasons as for why I don't think this is what they're referring to with the quote in the patch notes specifically. For one, this was announced within the patch notes for Year 6 Season 1, which for the most part means that the things discussed within there I expect to be information tied to and be relevant for that specific season and update. Furthermore, while again it's not impossible, the wording of what they're saying makes me believe that this will be some kind of in-game event, whatever it ends up being, right? For them to say to help agents stay fresh under the scorching sun in DC just doesn't quite sound like to answer your burning questions about upcoming content, to me at least. But okay, I wanted to acknowledge those community theories first, as like I said, either could be totally true, but I have a bit of a different theory. After thinking about this for a couple of weeks, mulling over the limited information we have, which is basically just that one tease in its wording, I personally believe that we might be set to see what would essentially be a summer equivalent of the winter holiday event. So no, I'm not expecting any kind of real limited time content, as cool as that would be, but something along the lines of what we saw this past December, where maybe there's some summer exclusive projects that release. You've got some quick daily objectives to do, and by participating in the event, you would get a collection of both old and new rewards. For the old, maybe this is where they rotate in some of those old Heatwave items that people are wanting. That way they don't have to commit to doing a full rerun on an event that the average response was lukewarm to, but you could put in a few of those noteworthy items. And then as far as the new rewards, just take after what the winter holiday event did. Have some new backpack trophies, weapon skins, maybe one new summer themed outfit, and if we're lucky, I think it'd be pretty sweet to see a summer equivalent to the infamous Slayer snowball gun, where instead of shooting snowballs, obviously, they give us something like a water gun or something else silly like that. That's my best take in theory as to what they're referring to by this summer event in August. I think that lines up with why there's nothing slated on the seasonal calendar, as the winter one was never something that showed up on there either. I think that's why it's phrased the way that it is. It's something in-game, hence the helping agents stay fresh bit, while also being noteworthy enough for them to warrant saying that they're hosting something special. To me, the idea of a limited time summer event fits in with what we know the best. It sounds the most plausible, but as I've said from the start, we won't know definitively until we hear more details. But whatever's coming our way, I just hope it's fun and refreshing enough to be an enjoyable mid-season thing while we wait for the next larger drop of Season 2 to arrive. My friends, that is everything I've got for you today regarding the mysterious upcoming summer event for The Division 2. If you've been around for a while, you'll know that I love analyzing and speculating on stuff like this, so this is a bit of a guilty pleasure video, but I hope you all enjoyed. And with the information here, I would love to hear all of your guys' thoughts and theories on what you think this upcoming event might be. Do you side with one of the community ideas of this being a simple apparel event rerun, or perhaps a new stream for the game at large? Do you think maybe I'm onto something with the idea that a summer variant of the winter holiday event could be coming? Or maybe you're thinking something else entirely that I didn't even consider. As always, whatever you've got, leave it down below. I'd love to read through them. And that's going to do it for me today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Out.